cumulative 62 lengths, wins today by 16 lengths in a 2-mile Grade 1. Simply breathtaking. Apples, Jay, do get a chance to watch it. We'll try and show it to you again if we can. On we go to the first of the big handicaps, 125,000, the Ladrokes hurdle. Of course, again, steeped in history. Back in the 80s, it was known as the sweeps hurdle. Remember the dulcet tones of Micheál O'Hare. There was a real rich history, this race, back to being known as the Ladroke hurdle, 2 miles. And number 1 is Campeador, the mount of Keith Donoghue. 2, Jet Ski. The champion hurdle winner previously, Darragh O'Keefe, great value for his £7. Davy Russell is on number 3, Wonderleish, the hauling gelding. 4, Blazer, Jody McGarvey. 5, Off You Go, won this race last year. Big fancy again, Mark Walsh. 6, Hearts Are Trumps, great name if you're a 45 player. Hearts Are Trumps, Luke Dempsey. 7, Jetes, Robbie Power, quietly fancied. 8, Michuka is the amount of Kevin Brogan, taking £7 off. Paul Tarrant is on number 8, Sayar, the Azamore gelding. 10, Tully East, Barry Connell is your trainer. Donna Myler, your pilot. Andrew Lynch is aboard number 11. To Be Lucky for the Waterford man, Henry the Bromhead. 12, Cartwright, Blinkers, Brian Cooper. 13 for the Ladbrokes hurdle is Ivanovich Gorbatov, £13 lower this year. Triumph hurdle winner in the past, JJ Slevin, riding for Joseph. 14, Shooter City, running in the race for the 3rd time. He's been 2nd in it, he's been 5th in it. 10 stone 9, Tony Martin. Dennis O'Regan, he'll be riding him quietly. 15, Due Reward, Rachel Blackmore. 16, Uradel, Ruby Walsh, Luke McMahon, Willie Mullins. Put those trio together and you have a significant cocktail. And Uradel is your favourite, not Wonderleish, of course. Uradel placed in the Cesarewitch at Newmarket. 17, Eclair de Beaufort, Jack Kennedy. 18, Try Again is Mark Enright. And number 19, the Luke de Vega gelding for Noel Mead. Jonathan Moore is your pilot. The name of the horse is Free Ranger. Tom Lee, can you dissect this for me? Uradel, now favourite, not Charles Burns as 2 runners.
Yes, indeed. Uradel in the hands of Ruby Walsh, switching from the flat to hurdles here. Back down in trip today, bear in mind, and solid in the market. The majority of the exchange cash queuing up for Uradel. The curious case, though, of the 2 Charles Burns runners here. Off You Go, last year's winner. Solid chance on form. Money around at prices in the region of 8 and 9 to 1. Whereas Wonderleish, who, after the last day at Fairyhouse, shunted up to a mark of 144, talked of as a potential future Grade 1 horse, curiously on the drift. 7 to 2, out to 1, 5 to 1, 11 to 2, even 6 to 1 in places. That's an alarming signal for a horse who, the last twice, has absolutely lit up the race courses, both at Navan and Fairyhouse. Interesting cash also, number 17, Eclair de Beaufort, a horse who's won the last twice in minor company, did have a Grade 1 entry this weekend, chooses the handicap route instead. Unsurprising, therefore, that the money has arrived. So an outsider being backed, the 17 horse, Eclair de Beaufort. This is a tricky one. Let's go to Andy Mack and see who he's managed to track down.
I found Paul Flynn, self-monikered Longford's greatest trainer. So, Paul, try again here. The price-wise tip for the race?
Yeah, I see that he's normally a good tipster, so I hope he keeps up his good form here. I thought the price-wise was probably, the price is value is gone now, probably now. He was 25 to 1, I think he's 14s or 16s now, but I think he'll run a good race. He likes the track. He's always run well here on the
winner here at Christmas.
Yeah, won well here at Christmas. Definitely surprised me, but you know, maybe the race hadn't got much depth to it at the time. You know, it was only a 0 to 116 or 123. It's obviously a lot better here today, but I read him there about 10 days ago, which I probably shouldn't have done, but he's come out of it well enough. You know, I was worried I mightn't get into this race, which as it turned out I would have got in lovely anyway. So listen, probably would have been better off I didn't run, but he seems in really good form, and I'll be expecting a great run.
You get in bang on perfectly at 9:10.
Yeah, it looks like my plan worked out well regards that way, but I might have just shot myself in the foot a little bit by running them, you know.
And you were a little bit concerned about the last fence being omitted, or last hurdle?
It's not. It'd be more for the start of the race. I'm more worried about that. He might just be a bit too keen with such a long run to the first now. I would have been preferred if he had a jump to them. I might have just got him to switch off a bit quicker. But listen, I don't think it'll bother him. They'll go a good gallop. No real front runners in the race. Lots of horses that have been handy, but hopefully they'll all push each other along and it'll cause a good gallop, you know.
And very exciting from a relatively small yard to have a runner in a big race like this, be big winner.
Well, it's brilliant, you know. I said since we won the Galway hurdle, I don't think we've had anything of this calibre, like, or even capable of running in a good handicap. I know it's not grade one, but this is brilliant just to be here today, and for the owners, they all got in nicely, and they've had a great run with them. And you know, I think if this would be icing on the cake, as they say, if you went and ran well today, you know.
Yeah, you've quite a big syndicate surrounding you here. I'm sure it'd be a fairly big shout if you did come home.
Yeah, lots. It was Mayo bred, and there's a Mayo syndicate have him now, so there'll be a great crack if he wins. You know, it'll be great.
Very good. Mark Enright's here. You can go give him your instructions. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, sure. I'll let him do his own thing. He's good. Thanks. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, lovely stuff. Longford's finest. Now, whatever about the speed of a horse in the race, they have to jump as well, of course, in the National Hunt. Tactics also come into play. Andy and Katie went out on the track to tell us what it's like turning for home.
The Ladroke Handicap Hurdle is a fiercely competitive race, and it's very tight. Jockeys always fighting for position. I'm here with Katie Walsh down at the end of the back straight, who was second in this race last year, and we're talking about where you want to be during the race. So Katie, at the end of the back straight, where would you ideally want to be?
Depends how you're travelling, Andy, I suppose. But it's a massive run from the third last down as far as the second last. I mean, ideally, in an ideal world, you'd kind of like to be kind of fifth or sixth, just behind the pace, but you would definitely want to have loads of horse in hand at this point.
Turning for the second last, we're about 3 furlongs from home. And Katie, this is where things really start to tighten up on the tight of the bend. The 19 runners that all be fighting for position. Where would you like to be?
It depends, as I say, as how you're travelling. I mean, this is the winning and the losing of this race. A lot of the times, if you're in the van every step of the way, you're handy, you're fine, but you need to be on the bridle from here as you are 3 furlongs from home. And if you're out the back door and you're riding something pacey, you might chance your arm maybe going down the inside and hoping for a gap because you might get through. You see, what happens here is this is a crucial part of the race because horses are quickening up as well to try and win the race, but there's also horses that can't quicken and are stopping and coming backwards. So you're getting stuck in that carnage. So really and truly, to win this race, you need to wing this hurdle, whether it be the inside or the outside.
So a good jump at the second last here needed, and then we'll go and have a look at the big climb turning in.
Perfect.
The second last hurdle is angled slightly differently this year. It's facing slightly out, and the inside rail has been cut away from the back. So Katie, that'll make a big difference to the way things will pan out.
I think it will. Usually this hurdle is smack bang down the rail, but with the gap at the back of this hurdle now, it gives you a chance. If you're on something sharp and nippy, you could get up the inside here. With the way this hurdle is positioned, it actually throws horses out to the right. So I can imagine Russell sneaking down the inside here and getting one good quick jump, nipping through and getting on the rail, turning into the straight. But you need to be sharp and nippy because you need to be there by the time you get to the rail up here because the gaps will begin to close.
So the poking will be going on.
Poke, a lot of poking, Andy.
What might go a little bit unnoticed when watching on television is just how steep it is from the second last home at Leopardstown. There's a fair incline here, Katie, and it goes all the way to the line.
Yeah, massive. About 100 yards at the back of the second last, it starts to climb, and it climbs the whole way as far as the winner post. There's loads of galloping in Leopardstown. From the time you cross the road, you only jump 3 hurdles. When you turn in, you're 2 furlongs from home, you're going uphill, and when you jump the last, you're just inside the furlong pole. You're still a long, long way from home here. If you can get that good, clear run every step of the way, and it's fluent and consistent, I mean, in an ideal world, it's a very hard thing to do in a handicap hurdle, but that can often be the winning and the losing.
Hammer and tongs from here home?
Well, I'd like to be, yeah, with a clear run, hammer and tongs. You can see the winning post anyway, but that's sometimes not good enough. You have to cross it in front.
Katie, the last hurdle has gone out of it now. That's a bigger mess up, isn't it?
And even more so for the start, because you start down in that corner, that 2 mile start, walk around the bend. So now you're going to run 2 furlongs up the straight with no hurdle and a furlong past it to meet the first. So they're going to be galloping for 3 furlongs before they jump a hurdle at all. And usually it's lovely to have the first hurdle because it settles everything down. You get down to the first, you race down to the first jump, everyone finds their position, whether it be forward, outside, inside, someone might miss it, you might get that posse, just everything settles down once you jump 1. But now they're going to be rubbering down to the first, and it's going to be a long way to it.
The incline here versus Cheltenham, is there a huge difference?
Yeah, there's a proper steep hill in Cheltenham, but there's also a proper run down the hill in Cheltenham. You know what I mean? He goes, and they're at the top of the hill. You can see them run down the hill, and then they'll climb back up again. There's no run down the hill here. There's just a climb here from the back of the second last the whole way as far as the line. A lot of horses get free here in bumpers as well. 2 mile start, they run up the hill as far as the line, but here at the line you actually run down for furlong as well, and you notice a lot of horses do kind of jump on the bridle, and they could be quite free.
Okay, I hope you pushed Andy back, by the way, after that. Let's go down to Tracy. She's with Tony Martin.
Certainly am. Yes, we're just looking at some Irish dances here. But Tony, good to see you here in Tudor City, of course, and you're under John Breslin over. How do you think this race will pan out?
It's on the inside track, and there's usually a lot more runners, but just Sydney look and running, and look, whatever gets look and running, we'll have it. That's what it's all about.
You happy with the conditions today?
Yeah, ground is right for our fella. He's in good form, and fingers crossed, he usually runs well in those sorts of races. He's been placed in a lot of them. He hasn't just won, but hopefully his turn will come.
And tomorrow then you've Annabelle Fry and what's the other one?
Clementina runs in the Mayor's Hurdle, so hopefully they're two horses. It's your man today. Hopefully they've each way chances, and hopefully they'll run well.
Yeah. Now they can hear us after the music stops. Listen, best of luck, Tony.
Cheers,
thank you very much.
thanks.
Good to see you.
Yeah, Tony Martin there. Obviously, one of the big talking horses in the run-up to this was Wonderleish for Charles Burns. Davy Russell won so well at Ferryhouse. There's a lot of talk about how good this horse could potentially be, Ted. You like what you saw here?
Oh, I love what I saw here, and he won snug. I think he won with a bit in the tank. Charles, there's no shrewder man at the game than Charles. He won the race last year with a horse with a big chance again there. Off you go. But this horse won snug enough. Davy, he hunted him down to the last. He never really, he's going to win well. He might look like he stepped at the last a little bit, but that's like, he's not really in the top drive position there. He's won. I think he got there and he didn't do a whole lot. What the horse ran on well.
Tudor City
ran on well, but a little bit unlucky. But I couldn't see him reversing places with that horse anyway. But I think Danger could be his stable companion. Off and go.
Well, there he is, Wonderleish for Charles Burns and Davy Russell. Impressive winner at Ferryhouse, as we mentioned, on that triple grade 1 card. Up £8 for that. Is that going to come into this? It is a handicap after all, but he still looks to have a bit in hand, and he's on the drift. 7-1 now. He was 4-1 this morning. The market not supporting him. Interesting to see how he goes.
Yoredale is the next one in. He's a great dual purpose horse, won the GPT for Aubrey in Galway last year. He went on to finish second in the Cesarewitch in Newmarket behind Low Sun, who turned out to be a really good handicap hurdler. Ruby takes the mount today, and he has a nice weight.
Certainly does. Okay, down at the start and almost set to go. Just see Tudor City out the back there. I'm sure Andy will bring him in there. I mean, he produced that brilliant late run as well. I think he's up £2 or thereabouts for that.
Yeah, it's not quite as big a field as usual. Yeah, there's 19. They're usually the maximum, 27 or 8. I'd say there's a lot of good racing around, a lot of £100,000 handicaps, and there's just not as many here at this occasion. Usually there's 25 or 6 in it, but with a couple of good £50,000 handicaps run as well, a good one at Christmas. Just for some reason, I don't know why there's not more, but 19 is a big field, but it's not as big as this can be.
It's 19 is very imaginable compared to 29 or 30 of them, you know. But actually spoke to Ruby this morning. He was saying he didn't know how much pace there was going to be in this race. He didn't think there was a lot of front runners in it, so I'd say it's going to be a fairly messy tactical affair. See, Davy's going to ride for speed in this horse. He's loads of boot. He gets you out of a hole. He's small. He's nippy. The horse I rode in this race last year, Deal Desterval's a big 3 mile chaser, a massive big beast, and I kind of walked out middle towards the outside. He needs room. He needs room to gallop. He wouldn't get you through a real small gap. Whereas Davy's horse is ideal for these really competitive handicap hurdles.
The horse I kind of fancy is Blazer for Willie here. Jody McGarvey's only finished second to Sharjah back in Galway, and he's back over hurdles now. Just the chases didn't really work out for him, but I think he could run a big race at a big price.
Yeah, I wonder what way the betting is going, lads. Is there money for Eurodale, or is there a drifters, or what is happening?
Eurodale, depending on where you shop around, Ted, you can get 9-2. In fact, you can get 5-1 Eurodale, but it's still favoured. The each way support in the race is number 7, Jetes. That was a 10-1 shot, double figures, now into a 6-1 shot. Is now actually, in fact, clear second favourite. There's also a few quid in the ring for Off You Go, Tom. And they're off.
On the way, long run to the first flight of hers. They don't jump the flight in the straight and up there in the early stages. Hearts are Trumps with the white face, the yellow cap. Along the inside is Jet Ski, between them with the noseband.
Within the centre, Hearts are Trumps, horse with the white face. Near side is Free Ranger. To Be Lucky tracks in fourth, and they're being followed by On the outside, the white cap is Blazer as they continue on the level to pass the stands. Jeski with Free Ranger, To Be Lucky in between horses with Hearts or Trumps, and then Due Reward. Ivanovic Gorbatov in by the running rail, and then comes Blazer, who's being followed by Eclair de Beaufort and Jetes. Behind these is Machuca, who's racing in company with last year's winner Off You Go. And behind these is Uradel with Cartwright, Sayar, Tully East and Try Again. Wonderleish as well back in these early stages is followed by Tudor City, and bringing up the rear is the Grey, racing on towards the second flight, taking them on towards the back straight. The Grey is Campiador. Over the second they go. Free Ranger moves alongside. Jeski to dispute the lead, being followed by To Be Lucky, and then Hearts or Trumps. And alongside Hearts or Trumps, making the bend to go towards the back straight. And flight number 3 is Ivanovic Gorbatov, as Free Ranger has now moved on to lead by 2 lengths, being followed in second place. Racing on down the far side by Jeski, and then To Be Lucky. Ivanovic Gorbatov is being followed by Due Reward, the white cap, and Hearts or Trumps as they race now to flight number 3, the first of 3 in the back straight, and Free Ranger stretches on 2.5 lengths in front of Jeski second. Third is To Be Lucky. Hearts or Trumps on the outside of Ivanovic Gorbatov. Then Blazer Due Reward is followed by Eclair de Beaufort. And then comes Off You Go and Jetes on the inside, being followed by Try Again, who's picking up a few placings. And they're being followed on the outside by Machuca, Uradel and Cartwright come next, with Wonderleish, Tully East. The final 3 are Sayar, Campiador and Tudor City. At the third last flight, middle flight in the back straight and the Ladrokes hurdle. And it's Free Ranger, Jonathan Moore, maintaining an advantage of a couple of lengths over Jeski and Dan O'Keefe in second. And third is To Be Lucky, the mount of Andrew Lynch, as they race out over the second last. And then Ivanovic Gorbatov, Hearts or Trumps, is followed by Due Reward, Eclair de Beaufort, and Jetes on the inside of Blazer. And then Uradel, who's starting to creep into contention with Off You Go alongside. Coming off the back straight with 1 flight to jump, and very, very tightly grouped. As the leader is Free Ranger, being followed by Jeski. Third is To Be Lucky, the light blue colours. Then Hearts or Trumps, Ivanovic Gorbatov on the inside, followed by Blazer as they come to the final flight. After which they've a run-in of 3 furlongs in the Ladrokes hurdle. Free Ranger, and on the outside is Jeski with Ivanovic Gorbatov right on their heels. Hearts or Trumps, To Be Lucky, Eclair de Beaufort as they come into the straight. 2.5 furlongs to go, and it's Jeski back on terms with Free Ranger. Ivanovic Gorbatov, Hearts or Trumps, then Eclair de Beaufort, Due Reward, Uradel as they race towards the final furlong. It's Jeski on the near side of Ivanovic Gorbatov. JP McManus is strong in the finish, coming home best of all on the outside is Off You Go, last year's winner, closing with every stride, and Off You Go for back-to-back Ladrokes for Charles Burns. Second is Jeski, who's run a stormer, and then Ivanovic Gorbatov. A 1, 2, 3 for owner JP McManus, and then Eclair de Beaufort, Uradel and Try Again.
What a ride by Mark Walsh.
Absolutely, Peach. You know, this horse won this race last year carrying 9.10. He's carrying 11.5 today. Kind of makes me feel good because I was second and I thought I was hard done by. Clearly not. This horse absolutely romped home again today. Mark gave him a great ride. As I said, it's a long run from the second last, but it looked like he joined in halfway up the straight. To be honest, I didn't see him throughout. I just saw him whizzing down the outside, but he was extremely good at the line.
Flew home, Ted.
Flew home is right. He comes from a long ways back. Mark switches him wide there. He's about maybe 13th or 14th at this stage. Noel Mead's horse is still in front at this stage, carrying him a good gallop. Free Ranger, a lot of them with chances. But what a run by old Jetski. I mean, at his stage in life, he's run some cracker. He's there sitting, travels really well. Free Ranger's back there, all the McManus colours. He's Off You Go is in the green cap with the white star. You'll pick him up. He's just ahead of the grey horse there. If you see the grey horse on his outside, he's just in behind him. And he swings him wide. You just can't see him. As in the outside behind Uradel in the yellow cap. Just watch the star there now. He's getting shuffled back a bit. Jicka's on horses. When Mark gets him out, keep watching the star on the JP colours. Here he is now, 3 from the left of your picture. And when he gets into top gear, he absolutely flies home. I thought Jet was going to have another big day here. He's what a horse he's run as well too. But it's not going to happen for him. And Wonder Leash has won a big race as well. But along comes. Off you go. And does he mow them down? Absolutely mows them down to the line. A great one for Mark Welch, great one for JP, 1, 2, 3, and he wins snug at the line. This is a good horse. He's 20 or 30 pound higher than he was last year.
Take it out, Mark Welch. He's down with Andy.
Mark, I was looking at Ivanovic, Gorbachev and Jetski, 2 horses you know plenty about, thinking it was between them, but off you go, just sail by them.
Yeah, look, Charles Burns, David Russell says it the whole time, he is actually a genius. I was going to ride this lad Handy today and he says, no, take your time a bit, because he was free the last day in Ferry House. So fairness to Charles, he gave me the right instructions and he had him spotting for today.
He had him mapped out for this race last year and off a lot higher weight, but he managed to do it again this summer.
Yeah, he's 20 pounds higher this year, but the horse just keeps progressing, and Charles Burns, he's just a genius.
And a horse who, you know, he's progressing right up through the ranks. Do you think there could be more to come yet? He seemed to win with a little bit in hand.
Yeah, well, you like to think so, yeah. Hopefully there will be, but he's after winning 2 good pots here now, so if he doesn't win another one, we'll be happy enough.
And very much looking forward to Ladrokes.
Yeah, looking forward to get back on him. He was good here over Christmas. It's a bit of a race today, so we'll see how good he is today.
And put in a lovely round of jumping for you that day.
He was very good, yeah, he's very good jump, so looking forward to him.
Well done and best of luck later.
Yeah, good day for Mark so far. Second in the opening race on Rhinestone, and there you go, 8-1, off you go. Even with that weight increase as well, it's a really fine training performance. Tracy.
Yes, a fine training performance indeed. Yes, Hugh, and here's the man himself, Charles. Congratulations. That was a really a late one, but he did it pretty well, didn't he?
Yeah. So look. He probably needs slightly softer ground, you know, so he was only just getting there really. Delighted with him.
I thought Jetski had got up there, but no, he came along and spoiled the park.
He did, yeah, stayed on really well. So look, tremendous people to train for, you know.
Great for JP to have the first 3.
Yeah, fantastic, yeah. Thank God it was in the correct order for me. But, no, I'm absolutely delighted.
That's a lovely horse.
Yeah, lovely horse, like, you know, he had a proper weight in his back today, like, you know, you couldn't really, you know, I think he'd only 9-10 last year and 11-4 or something today, so it was a proper performance, you know.
Mark timed it beautifully.
Yeah, fantastic, you know, delighted.
Well done, Charles.
Right,
good to see you, well done.
Yeah, well done to Charles, well done to Mark as well. Really fine performance. Wonder Leash just didn't get involved in the end, and as you say, JP McManus colours flying towards the end there. It would have been great to see Jetski win as well. I mean, look, what a warrior he is.
Yeah, what a warrior's right. What a great run he's had. But this horse was very good. I said this horse is up into graded company now. He got £20 for worse off this year than he was last year, and I'd say he's getting another few for the day. But he's a quality horse, going very much in the right direction. A lovely horse. And Charles, like, he laid him out last year for this race, and what a pudding he was with £20 less in his back. Today he was doing his best, and I don't know if there was any real money for him. The lad said he was 7 or 8-1, but he done it nicely.
Don't think he changed a huge amount.
No, he was there for all to see. Do you know what I mean? And Gorbachev ran a good race as well too. When you think that he beat Applejade,
you were saying
all over hurls. He beat her in the Triumph. Yeah. Beat her in the Triumph.
And then the next time they met, what happened?
She beat him 40 lengths in Liverpool.
There you go. It's amazing. It's a funny old game. I mean, you can't predict how horses will come on, of course, but I mean, Applejade, we know how good she is there now, and Mark as well. I mean, he had a good Christmas here as well, and
there's Charles Rees back to us, Frank Berry, JP's racing manager and friend, and a whole lot of things wrapped into one.
It seems like Barry is now going to ride JP's horses over England, and Mark rides the majority of the horses over here.
Yeah, I didn't see that now, but Mark rides a lot of them. Frank will look after them all well, and so will JP. I wouldn't mind what job I had in the McManus camp. It'd be a good one.
No such thing as a bad one, eh?
No such thing as right, you know. So
it's
Kieran McManus, yeah, Kieran is there with the red tie on him. He's there as well.
Brilliant crowds here this afternoon, and of course we're gearing up for the chase races, which have been flipped in the order because of the ground conditions during the week, and we've got 2 absolute crackers. Min leading the way in the Dublin chase, and we have the Arkle as well, and Mark rides the favourite Ladrokes, and that he just said he's really looking forward to getting back up and in. Haven't seen him since Christmas, and he's a horse that an awful lot of people fancy for the Arkle.
He's a real Irish national hunt bred as well too. He's by cash deeper into the jumping game than that. Two good mares there.
There's Swan McManus on the outside and Charlie Swan as well on the extreme left.
So look, obviously Ruby had a little bit of traffic as well, Katie, coming, turning for home, and he never really kind of got a clear run, if you like. I mean, you can't say.
No, but he never really got stopped either.
Yeah,
do you know? I had a look back. He never really got stopped. I probably would have liked a nicer, clear run, but he didn't get stopped either.
This from the third last now.
Halfway down the back here, they're all fairly tightly bunched. A couple of horses stepped at that one as well, but it's still a long way from home here. As I said, the eventual winner is kind of back in mid-div.
So there's no need to panic at all when you're at this stage. There's a long way to go.
Oh, it's a long way from here. God, if you're off the bridle here, you have no chance.
Yeah.
Back out over the second last here now. Yeah, it just gets tight and competitive around here. Everyone's trying to get into a position without going for broke. You can see the stands. I mean, you're only leaving back straight. You're so far from home. But this now technically is the last hurdle as well that they're coming out. But they're tightly bunched. There's not, what is there, 8 or 9 lengths from first to last, 10 max. 19 runners, it's a tight field. I don't really think there was any real hard luck story, to be honest, and sometimes there is, but I don't think anyone really got genuinely badly stopped. Ruby got a good enough clear run through. He didn't really get stopped. Mark Walsh is just on his outside, and actually Mark Walsh goes to keep Ruby in up the straight, but Ruby just didn't have the horse to come out. You see Mark coming up here on his outside. Ruby's kind of nudging to go right, and Mark kind of knocks him back in, but then again Ruby didn't get stopped either then on the inside, but Mark comes away 1 or 2 tears into him 100 yards down from the line. He takes off, and that's just from the back of the last there now.
He made up about 8 lengths, didn't he?
Yeah, but like when you get motoring and you get going and you get a clear run, that can happen, and it's a long way up there.
Yeah, timed it to perfection, as they say, and a fantastic win in the handicap. It was the old sweeps back in the day, Ted, was it? Then it was the Ladrokes for so long.
Yeah,
Carls before this. Pierce.
Yeah, all of them. It's still a good handicap. It was the sweeps hurdle as a handicap, and then it was a condition race way back when Captain Christie and them ran in it. It was a condition race. The sweeps came in and put it, then they turned it into a handicap, and that became a condition race. And I remember when Leopardstown was called off one year, not called off, they were rebuilding it, and we had the Christmas meeting at Ferry House.
Okay.
2 days at Ferry House. That's before.
I don't remember that. You?
No, Brian Gleeson might remember it, Brian.
No, he doesn't remember either.
Yes, well, I can tell you, Ted, 15 years ago, it was the Pierce hurdle, and there was around that time, it was that particular day, actually, that Charles Burns shot to prominence. Cloudy Bay and Drumlease Express had the bookmakers running for cover. They were absolutely scared, and Charles Burns had a big race double here. The Pierce Chase, of course, and the Pierce hurdle. This race is synonymous with one of the big handicaps of the year here at Leopardstown, and that Drumlease Express was sent off 6-1 favourite, landed some thumping bets, and was steered by Johnny Allen, of course, the Corkman, now doing so well as a flat jockey down under in Australia. 15 years later, C. Burns, the Limerick maestro, strikes again, but off you go, winning the race for the second consecutive year. Number 5, off you go, presenting out of an Oscar mare, related to JP's Irish Grand National winner, Shut the Front Door, wins the Ladbrokes hurdle at 8-1 from the jet ski, the previous champion hurdle winner, beautifully ridden by young Dara O'Keefe. Your turn will come, Dara. Second at 16-1. Third, Ivanovic Gorbatov, 13 pounds lower this afternoon. He was third at 16-1. Fourth, Eclair de Beaufort at 7-1. And in fifth place could be your Carl hurdle winner, Uradel, 9-2 favourite, and that was in fifth place. I can promise you, I'll get it right this time. It is competition time.